अरे ऑल्सो एक और माइलस्टोन आने वाला है अपना, जिससे पहले आप मुझे शॉक करो, मैं आपको शराफत से बता देता हूँ। आई थिंक देविका एआई वीडियो और समथिंग दैट विल क्रॉस 100 के व्यूज सून, फर्स्ट 100 के व्यू वीडियो। हाँ, our
Sorry, 80K.
95 92 93 हो गया
I don't have, मतलब I have the logo. It will be like
हाँ।
transparent.
हाँ, क्योंकि
It's fine.
दे डू कंसिस्टेंटली ना, सो वी हैव टू स्केल। कितना पैसा लगाता है यार इसका?
Do you have a logo?
हाँ,
You
so
can do like
धीरे
FOSS
से
United Mangalore. हाँ हाँ. Yeah.
हाँ, लाइव हो गया।
Mute कर लो.
Yes. So he's the one who arranged this.
from all around Mangalore. I didn't knew that people are coming from 60 kilometers away. I thought it's all nearby, in like 5-10 kilometers apart, but not. So thanks, and all of you to join us here. So this is our probably 17th city where we are doing an event, a FOSS event, and and hopefully we'll continue doing it. Because I see a lot of enthusiasm. We talked to a few people, including Devesh, a couple of months back to host a meetup, but then exams came and other things. So we are very happy to be here today and then see this happening. Uh, Maybe Ansh could speak more about it.
Hi everyone. Thank you for coming on a Saturday morning. It's really nice to see, it's the first ever meetup and you all have come in such huge numbers. I mean, we're probably running out of seats now. Yeah. I'm Ansh. I work as a community manager at FOSS United. So how many of you have heard about FOSS, have a little bit of idea what FOSS is? Okay, how many of you are hearing about FOSS for the first time? Okay, nice. So I have something to talk about. So FOSS stands for Free and Open Source Software. There are two aspects to FOSS, free software and open source. Free software, as per the definition by the Software Freedom Foundation, it means software that respects users' freedom and the community that comes along with this software. There are four essential freedoms associated with free software. You have the freedom to run, copy, distribute, and study the software that you're working with. Open source is just, as the name suggests, software where the source is open, the code is open to public eye, anyone can study it, maybe even modify it and use it as per their convenience, right? So why FOSS, right? There are two aspects to software, free software and proprietary software, which is also referred to as closed source software. So I really recommend reading this book called The Cathedral and the Bazaar. It's by Eric Rosen. He talks about two models of creating software or projects. There is the cathedral model of doing things. Cathedral, when you hear the word, what comes to your mind? Probably a very fancy structure, right? It is probably the vision of one person who built it. There is a very small team who actually built it from bottom to top, and a lot of us are not allowed inside. So, and then there's bazaar. What comes into mind when you think of a bazaar, an open space? Anyone can go there. There's probably a lot of chaos, but you're still allowed to share your ideas. Just because you're going there, you don't necessarily have to buy something. It's a free flow. It's a free flowing space where you can share your ideas and have the open discussions, right? So these are the primary benefits of why people consider using FOSS. Cost savings, of course. The code is free to use, modify. You can customize it as much as you want. You will save a lot of costs. Freedom and flexibility, of course, it gives you, you are flexible to change the code according to your problem statement. You can modify it. You have absolute freedom because the code is public. Of course, transparency and security. When the code is open to public eye, there is very little chance for backdoors or any security risks to prevail in. It is very rare. It happens, of course. Of course, this community support and collaboration. Like, look around yourselves. This is our first FOSS meetup, and so many people have turned up. So this is the power of free and open source software. There's a whole community around it. People who come collaborate on building software without any expectations in return. No vendor lock-ins, right? You just because you're using the software for once doesn't mean you have to use it for eternity. If it doesn't suit your needs, you're free to move out, explore other options. Now I know a lot of people are, fans of a certain ecosystem that a particular company is building, but FOSS is exactly what the opposite of it. Vendor lock-in is something that we really oppose in the FOSS community. So Eric talks, he gives a few viewpoints. If you want to start a project, there are some points that you can consider, if you want to go with the cathedral model or the bazaar model. Good programmers know what to write. Great ones know what to rewrite and reuse. Have you heard of Frappe? Nice. So it is, Frappe is the publisher of ERP Next. Rishabh Mehta, who is the CEO of Frappe, he has a very popular quote. the best code is the one that is never written, right? So he probably means it in a different context because Frappe is a no code framework. But again, this also applies to open source models, right? There is already a ton of existing code that is written by very experienced developers. That is probably way better than what I or you will write in the first attempt. Treating users as code developers is your least hassle route to rapid code improvement and effective debugging. So maybe a lot of complicated words here, so I'll simplify this a bit. Given a large enough beta tester and code developer base, almost every problem is categorized quickly and the fix is obvious to someone. Again, I know this is also a bit complicated. So let's do it in one line. It's called Linus's law. Given enough eyeballs, all bugs are shallow. A code in free software or open source is visible to so many people that if there's a certain problem with it, anyone can, there has to be one person in one corner of the world who will be able to be like, yeah, this is easy, I can do it. And what happens in open source software is one person in one corner of the world is going to find a problem, they're going to report it. Another person from another corner is going to come across that problem and they'll be like, okay, yeah, this is how you can fix it. They'll maybe even suggest how to reproduce that bug on your systems and how you can potentially fix it. And then another person is going to fix it for you. That is the power of free and open source software. Because all these developers, because all the people who are using these software, they also become your code developers. They also become your beta testers because as soon as a new release is published, people will have the freedom to, if they have a free weekend, they'll be like, sure, I can try this new release and, see what's up. So yeah, if you treat your beta testers as if they're your most valuable resource, they will respond by becoming your most valuable resource. Again, that's about FOSS, but why do we need a FOSS community, especially in India? So these are recent statistics from a survey in 2024. 96% of total code bases audited, they contained open source software. So open source is literally everywhere right now. I'm sorry if it's not visible at the back, but this is the projection of future growth of developer communities. India is set to overtake United States as the biggest developer community in the world by 2027. So, I mean, this does look like a very interesting statistic, right? 26% global increase in developers just on GitHub in 2023. India is the fastest growing developer population. 98 million open source projects created on GitHub. Again, this might not be visible at the back, I'm sorry. But this is continent by continent, the growth of open source software and developer communities. Asia is at the top. Now, this may seem like a good thing that, Asia is the fastest growing developer community. But unfortunately, India is not contributing to this. There are other countries in Asia who are very actively participating in open source software activities and contributions. But in India, the situation is not that great. Our open source activity and awareness remains very low. So again, the first question, why do we need a FOSS community in India? Because it is the proven way to build a sustainable IT ecosystem. And by IT ecosystem, I mean all these major conglomerates, companies, startups, governments, and even the colleges you study in, academia can really evangelize the use of FOSS among students. We've seen this model in Kerala. Students from probably 5th or 6th grade start using Ubuntu. There is a huge focus on using free software over proprietary alternatives. I really think that we can copy this model to other states, and that is what our aim is. So what are we doing? To build a FOSS community in India, right? I'll take a few more minutes to talk about FOSS United. How are we doing it? We have events, we have policy initiatives, we give grants to project developers, open source contributors and maintainers. We partner with industries and companies who want to give back to the FOSS community. We have 4 industry partners right now. Zerodha and Frappe, the companies who started this organization, they continue to support us. It's been 4 years, not just financially, but they also give a lot of guidance. Education is, of course, the most important aspect if we want this movement to grow strong. We recently started our FOSS Clubs program. We're trying to penetrate these colleges and reach out to students, help them educate about the free and open source software movement. Events is, of course, our primary where we spend the most time. We have FOSS meetups all over India. So we have, as Vishal said, this is our 17th city event. We have over, say, 5 to 10 active city chapters that do monthly FOSS meetups. Very casual events where you can just come in, listen to talks, talk to people. Then we have city FOSS conferences. So every city chapter will have their own flagship event. It's called Chennai FOSS, Delhi FOSS, Mumbai FOSS. So once a year we'll do a flagship conference. People from almost all over India actually come in to talk about, share their knowledge. Uh, so I mean, if we are very happy with the response of the Mangalore community, so maybe we'd love to host Mangalore FOSS someday. FOSSAC is our annual flagship hackathon in probably India's largest and maybe even the only FOSS hackathon. The FOSSAC 2024 is happening on 27 to 28 July this year. We will be having 10 plus locations all over India. So the hackathon is parallelly happening in all our editions. Did anyone here attend India FOSS last year? Okay, no worries. So India FOSS is our flagship annual conference. It happens in Bangalore every year. We are planning it for 7 to 8 September. This time again in Bangalore. Call for proposals is now open. You can submit it out. Since the last 4 years, we have been dedicatedly promoting and strengthening the FOSS ecosystem in India. We have had 11,000 plus participants across all our events and discussions, online or offline. We have given 2.5 CR of grants to projects, organizations, and event organizers, FOSS event organizers. We have featured 50 plus projects by helping them give talks at our events, inviting them to podcasts, helping them, submit blogs to our blog page. And we have partnered with 30 plus companies who very dedicatedly want to support this movement. These are some upcoming programs at FOSS United. Springboard is our own internship program where we will be helping students develop free software, contribute to open source, learn technologies. Season of Commits is FOSS United's own edition of a summer of code program. So think GSOC, but specifically for India. We will be partnering with open source projects in India and helping students contribute to the software, give back to the community. And of course, you will be remunerated for that. FOSS clubs, we have 12 clubs all over India right now. We are planning to scale this up to 100 campuses this year. So I'd like to end this on a personal note, like something I really believe in. I do think that open source will triumph, not because it's ethical or moral. It's just that closed source cannot compete, right? Imagine a battle going on between a closed source software where there is a very small set of people who may be good coders, right? But again, there is limited manpower against an open source project where there's hundreds and thousands of people looking at that code who are contributing to it without expecting anything in return. In the long run, definitely open source will come up as a winner, and that's what we are trying to do at FOSS United. Thank you. You can join our channels. We are active on Telegram. We have a discourse forum. You can sign up for our newsletter to receive monthly updates. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Ansh and Vishal. Anybody has any quick questions for them about FOSS United? Yeah, of course, we will be sharing this slide deck with all of you so that you don't have to worry about finding those links. But anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them before we go on to the next speaker. Any questions from anyone? Any doubts? You have one?
Thank you very much, Ansh. I was just curious if there is any courses that you take for beginner students who want to contribute to open source.
Yeah. So we have a. No, I think we didn't mention that particular project, which is not actively maintained. We have a program called project called Mon School, mon.school. And the idea there is so there's one particular course which is designed to start learn creative coding, not exactly open source contribution because that's a long process. To contribute to something, I have to be user, right? I mean, if I want to contribute to let's say roads, I need to know what is the road first. I need to walk and I need to know a lot of things. So that there are a lot of other codes that we have published on that course. Maybe we can show the site. So this is the very first, one of the early project that we did at FOSS United, but we could not continue because it required a lot of, I'll say, human power, people power, and then reach, and it was very early stage of FOSS United. But now, since we are growing, reaching out to a lot of colleges, cities, we are thinking about partnering with open source projects and see how we could help the open source project maintainers, at the same time educate the students and create a journey where they'll learn, they'll get mentorship, and then end up contributing to these projects. But to start with, we have few courses. Joy of programming is the one popular one, and then self-hosting, and there are other ones which we have started. Again, like I said, this is not being maintained very recently because of certain issues. But yeah, this is still active. There's still a community of a lot of professionals. Around 5K people are active on are present on our Telegram, who are ready to help whoever wants to learn. But yeah, a more clear journey cycle will keep. We again, like Professor Mohit mentioned, we are growing very fastly. A lot of people, felt that they could actually also start a community. So we are trying to figure out how you could help everybody, make sure we have a certain right processes. Yeah, please visit and let us know if you have any queries. Any other questions? Thank you. We are still available after the meeting, after the whole meetup for your queries.
Take my laptop.
Yeah, okay. So, thanks Vishal, thanks Ansh. May I please request Azan to be with us, and Shanit also, 1 minute. So, yeah, you can come with us. So, before we go on to the next speaker, let us take a minute to acknowledge the efforts of the FOSS United community, particularly Vishal and Ansh, who have traveled. So, since they are here in Mangalore for the first time, yes, you are in Mangalore for the first time, and they should not go back without some kind of a memory from here, am I right? Yes. Agree with me? Yes. Okay, so we have a small token of memento for Vishal and Ansh. Can you please bring it for me, Devesh? And I request Azan, on behalf of the Mangalore team, to please give a memento to Vishal, and I request Shanit to please give memento to Ansh. So please give it to, so Azan will hand it over to Vishal. Please give a big round. Shanit, can you please give memento on our behalf?
Thank you.
Thank you, Shani. Thank you, Ansh. Let's move on to our next speaker. We have Nibraz here from Pace Wisdom Solutions. He'll be talking about Pace Wisdom, telling us about what Pace Wisdom does, also telling us about what's the kind of the FOSS culture they have. I still remember when I approached about a month ago to the Pace Wisdom team. They immediately said we'll be more than happy to host you all, and they have their offices in the first floor. So when we have a networking break, I request all of you to please take 10 minutes of your time and please see the office, meet the team. Many of them are sitting here also. How many are here from Pace Wisdom? May I know? Yeah, so we have a big team here. So please catch hold of these people who raised the hand and go along with them, because you don't have the security ID to enter. They will take you, and please see the kind of beautiful culture they are setting out here. So I request during the networking break, please go. And now it's time for us to listen to our host, Pace Wisdom. Over to you, Nicholas.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Nizar Rahman. I work as a DevOps engineer at Pace Wisdom Solutions. So anybody who is interested in DevOps or aspiring to be a DevOps engineer? Oh, good to know. Same thing.
So, DevOps engineer, we create illusions for the coders. We are the magicians in the IT industries. Coders think just if you push the code to Git, it will deploy. It is not that way. It is we are creating an illusion that it is a automatic process, but we are the one who works in the background, who works as a magician, who works to create illusions to deploy all the codes, whatever required to be deployed in the web. So today, as a pay system representative, I am here to introduce about our company, our pay system company. So we at Pay System, we are delivering industrial solutions for different domains like fintech, pharma, logistics, and many more. So we offer different services like web app development, mobile app development, and DevOps solutions. So in order to provide our client with the best cost-effective and most effective code base which can be used, or the most effective solutions we use open source tools. The open source tools or the frameworks it has given us a lot of opportunity to build a better infrastructure or better code which can be cost effective and reliable also. So if you see about the frameworks like Angular, so those are the open source frameworks which can be used by the developers, and version tools like Git. So those are the open source tools. And as a DevOps engineer, I rely on the Docker, which is also an open source tool which is used for the containerization. It had made all the developers and everyone's life easy. The containerization of the code has been like it's a breakthrough for our IT technologies. So and SonarQube also. SonarQube, you might be knowing. My topic is on SonarQube. SonarQube is a static analysis of a code. So if you go through, so let's talk about the perspective of the developer. How developer writes a code or the end product, how it becomes. So everyone follows this life cycle called SDLC, that is software development life cycle. So everyone might be knowing other than me or some DevOps engineers. So you do all those steps. And when it comes to coding, you people, or you might be, I don't know, you people focus on the end product or the output. So if the code is working, fine, then you think the product is ready. If you can compare it to real life situation, if I stand in single leg, I'm still standing. But it is not that I can stand for a long, or if someone touches me, I would have been fall. That does not mean I am standing. The code, if you compare it with the code should be a proper, which has no defects, or the code quality should be like very much good when it comes to the code quality matters when you write the code. When you initially start writing the code, you should always focus on the code quality. And if you see how the code should be written, the source code should be simple, flexible, extendable, and testable. You can understand by the name itself, the code base should be simple. If someone who comes next to you should be able to understand how the code is written, you have to be like the code format should be very much easily readable with the comments, everything. And it should be flexible also. If something happens, it should be flexible to adapt new changes also. Whatever the code you have written, it should not be only focused on the current output or requirement. It should be flexible enough to change according to the situation and the need. So the next should be extendable. The code written, if you have written some tests or some test cases, it should not be only for those. You should be able to enlarge it, or it should be extendable. So and testable. This feature, like most of the developers neglect. Testable means most people think of the dynamic testing, like using Selenium tools or such tool. They'll do some dynamic testing, write some test cases. But that's not it. We have one more testing called static code analysis. Static code analysis should be done. The code have many bugs. It may have many bugs or many loopholes or many code smells. So we should be also focused on those things. So people may think, what's there? Like if the code is running, if there is a code in IT, if it runs, don't touch it. So that should not be the case. If let's say Toyota, the like very famous company, they had one major outstanding, that is in 2009. They wanted to like they bought back one millions of cars because of some code issues. It cost them around 1.2 billion dollars. It's a huge impact for a company, such a big company that is Toyota. So code quality matters. It's not that only the output matters. So let's talk about the topic that is sonar cube. What is sonar cube and why is this used for? You can see the video that it cleans the car service. That's it. The sonar cube does the same. It cleans your code. It scans your code. Or anybody knows what is sonar? What is sonar technology? Sonar. Can anyone say that? Sonar is mostly used on submarines, ships to track the threats by sending electromagnetic signals or some sort of signal to track threats or distance, depth of the sea. So same way, the code, whatever sonar cube does it tracks the whatever threats are there in the static code, that is the output of the code. It does not check for the test cases. It checks the code. Where are the flaws? What are the flaws? What are the flaws present in those codes? So in sonar cube there are a topic called quality profiles. Quality profile means there are some rules for every organization. There are some rules. These rules should be followed. To generate a report from sonar cube, it has to follow some rules. So those rules contain some of these things. That is bugs. It will check for the bugs, whatever the bugs which may cause the code to break down, and some vulnerabilities. Vulnerability in the sense it might cause an issue. It's not that it will be issues. So we can crack or we can do something. Or nowadays cyber security, like the security threat is too high. Every day, each and every day, we can see the lot of hacking happens on the code base. We never know how strong is your code. Even the Google can be hacked nowadays. So vulnerabilities should be detected as soon as possible. So it's better to start writing the code. Like while writing the code, you have to follow such instructions and such formalities. So code smells. Code smell means the stinky code, you can say. The code which are sensitive codes which can be has a technical debt. Means in future it can be a problematic code. So they are same thing. Duplications. Duplications makes your code slow or whatever the code. You have to write a code in a simplified manner. It should not be same code will be written again and again. Developers may know that using functions, methods, you can simplify the code. And one more is code coverage. This is also one of the part of sonar cube, that it checks how much content of your code has been covered by the dynamic testing, that is using Selenium. If you have written test cases on that, so those will be tracked. So this is the dashboard. This sonar cube, this has many versions. One of those is open source, that is community versions. Community version we can download it very easily. We have also a sonar image. If you know what Docker image is, we can just download it and push the code and generate a report. It's very useful. And if you see this dashboard, you can see whatever I have mentioned here. So let me show you a demo itself. So this is our base system sonar cube. We have deployed our sonar cube. So this is our base system sonar cube. So let me show you one of our demo. So this is the code. So this is our dashboard where we can see the sonar cube, and here it will be mentioned that branches also, different branches. If you are integrating our sonar cube to the certain branches, we can see the whatever the branches are there. So here our code has been failed because of some quality gates. That quality gates I have mentioned, there is some certain rules or certain criteria to pass those tests. If only that criteria passes, only then the code will be deployed, so that our code is safer in production. So if you see here, there are some bugs, and if you go here inside, so here it shows you what are the bugs also. So you can use this as a tool, as a guide also. It shows you, it is a mentor for you. It shows you where have you gone wrong, what can be perfected from your code. So everything will be displayed. So it shows you the places also where you need to be change the code, where you need to change, and what and all the actions you have to take in order to improve your code quality. So here you can see this is our development environment and this is our staging environment. You can see significant improvement from dev to staging. That is, staging is one of like before production there will be environment called staging, which replicates the production. So we will test everything there. So you can see from dev to staging there is a significant improvement. All the quality gate has been passed. Still there are bugs which cannot be, some bugs or some security hotspot we cannot be solved. That we can modify also. Here if you see the quality profiles, this is Sonar Way. Sonar Way is one of the default quality profiles from the Sonar Cube. So there, we can create our own quality profiles too. If you have like in your organization, or if you are doing some your freelancing, if you are using some certain packages that like or a pre-built code or bootstrap which cannot be changed, but any cost you have to pass those Sonar Cube tests. So you can modify your rules or quality gates according to you. So there are quality gates. So these are the rules. You can change if you want. If your duplicated lines are more than 3%, you can change it here itself. So this is about Sonar Cube and integrating Sonar Cube with the CI/CD. As a DevOps engineer, I work mostly on building pipelines and like making developers and everyone's life easy. So what we do in our organization, we use GitLab CI/CD, which we hosted by ourselves instead of Jenkins. You might be knowing Jenkins is one of the most popular CI/CD tool. So here we can do developer writing a code, pushing to Jenkins, which has Sonar Cube integrated. So it will generate a report. So you can modify it as if only the Sonar Cube report has been passed, then only it will be deployed into a production. So you can use Docker. This is also one of the most famous open source tool which is used nowadays. So this is a CI/CD what we use in our organization. And if you want to develop, like if you want to integrate your code with like while you write the code itself, you don't want to generate a report and check after you write the code, then it will be a hectic task. So what you can do is like you can install a extension called Sonar Link. It's available for almost all the code editors such as VS Code, Visual Studio, Python, everything. So if you install just a Sonar Link, just a plugin extension, it will show you the suggestion where should you improve and how should you improve the code. So it's better. Or if you do that, if you can do this infinity symbol. This is also a DevOps symbol. So here what we do is sonar link. When you write the code itself, you can check for the code errors, and while building also. Here we have attached one quality gate. That is only if sonar to test passes, it will go to merge or promote or to the production. If it fails, it will go back. That is the whatever the error code or the whatever poor quality code, it won't be in the production. So our production will be in a safer manner. So this is one of the most important, or you can implement it if you are not in organization, if you are a freelancer, or if you are one of the personal, if you want to deploy one of the personal projects also, start writing a code in a better manner. So you can implement these steps in order to improve your code qualities. So best practices while writing code. That's it. Whatever I told, like sonar link, using sonar link while writing only from initial stage only, we can use sonar link and keep code dry. That is not, don't repeat yourself. Don't repeat the same code everywhere. You can use methods or different functions. So, and one more is version control. Version control is one of the most important and like one of the tech breaking tool what the open source community has been provided us. So version control tracks our state, commits, everything, whatever the changes are there. And automated testing, you can, if you integrate the sonar tube, the automated testing, you can implement automated testing. Also, you can implement some of the other tools like Selenium also for automated testing, like dynamic testing. And integrating CD, obviously the same thing. So that's it. I hope everyone understood at least something. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicholas. Anybody has any questions?
Yes, what about solar link? Is it available as a language server? Like if you want to use it with the editor that is not supported or something?
Yeah, there are like SonarLink supports around 30 plus languages. So you can download plugins if you want like customized rules or something like that. There are plugins, there are open source plugins where we can install or we can integrate into the code.
No, like is it available like a language server so that like if you wanted to use it with the editor that's not supported, like Vim or something like that?
Yeah, you can use SonarCube in that way. In place of if you are using which is not supported for the like SonarLink, you can use SonarCube. SonarCube has an image, a Docker image, so you can directly integrate it. Just put your code in the Docker image, so it will generate a report itself. So you don't need to worry about the language. It supports around 30 plus languages.
Thank you.
Alright, any other questions from anyone? Alright, if not, then we can move it. Thank you, Nicholas, once again for the excellent presentation. Thank you. So, as a next speaker, we have Maulya. Maulya Diyam is a PhD student right now at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at NITK. And she'll be talking today about how to set up an authoritative DNS server using Core DNS, which is an open source tool. So, over to you. You can get started.
Good morning, everyone. I am Maulya Diyam. I am a research scholar in Computer Science Department, NITK. So today I am here to speak about the topic configuration of Core DNS as authoritative server, forwarder, and recursive resolver. So this work was carried out by me and my friend Tista. She's also with me here today. Hi, Tista. So yeah, this is going to be the agenda of our talk. First, we'll talk some things about the basic concept of DNS, and then we'll move on to Core DNS, its plugins, and the code file. We'll also look into how we can configure Core DNS as an authoritative server, as a forwarder, as a recursive resolver. We'll see how Core DNS can take part in cloud-native environment. We'll also see about encrypted DNS protocol. I'll also talk about the performance study that we have carried out for encrypted DNS protocol using Core DNS. Okay, so DNS protocol is basically responsible for translating the domain name to its corresponding IP address. So if not for DNS, I don't think we would have been able to communicate over internet today. So these mappings are stored in the DNS servers. So these servers are in a hierarchical manner. So if you can see the diagram over there, this is a DNS hierarchy diagram. This is in the form of inverted tree like a structure, right? So at the very beginning point, there is a root DNS server. So across the world, there are 13 root DNS servers. And at the next level, we have top level domain servers. So these top level domain servers are responsible for the domains like .com, .net, and .in, all those things. And at the leaf level, we have something called as authoritative servers. So these authoritative servers are responsible for the mapping to actually have the mapping. So all the other servers that I mentioned, right, root servers or top level domain server, these just will have the reference towards the authoritative server. That's all. So this is the it's only the authoritative server that will have the mappings. So here we have an example of how an actual DNS query gets resolved. So if you can see, the client wants to connect to example.com domain. So in order for him to connect to example.com website, right, he has to get the IP first. So that is where our DNS comes into picture. So client types the example.com name in its browser. So first the client, yes, yes.
Is it better? No, I think some echo issues. Yeah. Some echo issues are there. Any better? Is this better? No. No.
Hello.
Just give 1 minute. Is this better? Hello. Hello. Better? Somewhat? There is still some echo. I think he has come now. The mic seems to be fine. The speaker has an issue. So let's see. Is there something that you can give it? I think the volume is little. Because mic is working fine. Hold it closer. Shall we try? Hello, is this better? Hello, 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 hello. Is okay? The echo is gone now. Okay? The echo is there. The echo is there. Shall we try now? Is the echo still there? It's fine now? Fine, okay. This is okay. We'll start. If something happens, I will let you know. You can start. So sorry for the inconvenience. We'll get started again. Over to Malia. Keep it just near. This is your presentation.
So yeah, coming back, we were discussing about the DNS query resolution, right? So if you can see, the client wants to connect to example.com website here. So in order for him to connect to an example.com website, we would need the IP address first. So here is where the yeah. Hello.
In fact, it should be on this side and it's kind of can you try now?
Say something. Hello, hello. Okay.
Over the last, do you see any disturbance? Or is it better now?
Voice is not clear. Okay, let's go
You're not able to hear me.
Molia, can you stand here and speak?
Hello.
Okay, let's try to go ahead without the mic for 2 minutes and see whether it is audible there. I request some of you, if you, some of you can come this side.
Yeah.
There are some free chairs, but let's try to use, is my voice coming along? Yeah. Let's try, Molia, you can also see without the mic if it works.
So am I audible, guys?
Yes. The people in the last row can come front.
Hello.
You can come a little bit in front, but Ansh, the record.
Anyways, gonna be here. Why not be more effective and listen effectively?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. The last row here. The core of it was there.
I think let's go without. Until then, we will fix it. In the break, we will fix it. In the break, we will
Another request is if you all can keep our talking down so that we can hear the speaker, that would be also great. Okay? And we'll fix it during the snacks.
During the break, we will fix the mic issues. Thank you.
So yeah, coming back again, we were talking about DNS query resolution. Right? So for any of the client to connect to the website that they want to, they should have the IP address of the website first. So in order for us to get the IP address first, we would be needing to contact the DNS service. So here, if you can see, there is a client machine that is expecting to connect to the example.com website. But obviously, the clients don't have the IP address. For us to get the IP address, we will be forwarding the query